भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्रपः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 प्राणाग्नय एव एतस्मिन् पुरे जाग्रति गार्हपत्योह वा एष अपानः व्यान अन्वाहार्यपतनः यद्गार्हपत्यात् प्रणीयते प्रणयनादाहवनीयः प्राणः यदुच्छ्वासनिश्वासौ एतौ आहुति समं नयतीति स समानः मनोह वाव यजमानः इष्टफलमेव उदानः स एनं यजमानम् अहरहर् ब्रह्म गमयति The student asked 5 questions. In dream, what all organs sleep? In dream, what all organs keep awake? In dream, who enjoys? To whom does the sleep belong? And finally, where is everything supported? Of these 5 questions, 2 questions have been answered. What are the organs that keep awake? What are the organs that sleep in dream? All the jnanendriyas and karmendriyas are resolved into the mind and they sleep. Sleeping means they do not do their function. And here the example given was the sun and the rays of the sun. Just as the rays come out of the sun during the day and the rays go back to the sun during the sunset, similarly during waking time all organs come out of the mind to function, and at the time of dream they all are resolved. This is the answer to the first question. The second question was, what all organs keep awake in dream? And the answer given was Pranagnayaha, the Pancha Pranas and the mind. And this was indicated in the form of a symbolic ritual where the Prana, Apana and Vyana were compared to 3 Agnis, Garhapatya, Ahavaniya and Dakshinagni. And the Samanaha was compared to Hota, the priest. Manaha was compared to Yajamanaha. Thus, mind the Yajamana, with the help of Samana, priest, is doing Agnihotra ritual, making use of Garkapatya, Ahavaniya and Dakshinagni, which are Prana, Apanam, Vyana, not respectively these three. And as a result, the Punyam comes, which is compared to Udanaha, Ishtaphalam. Ishtaphalam means Yaga Phalam. Ishtam, Anishtam, Ishtam kadayadinga. Ishtam means Yagam. Yaga Phalam eva Udanaha. And just as Yaga Phalam takes the Yajamana to higher lokas, here also Udana Prana takes the mind Yajamana to deep sleep state, where the mind is one with Brahman, Brahmananda Sukham. Because in Sushupti the Anandam is what? Brahmanandam only. Because no Vishayas are available. And still we are happy. Yat Sushuptau Nirvishaya Atmanando Nubhujate Shruti Pratyaksham Aitihyam Anumanam Cha Jagrati. It was said in Viveka Chudamani. Sushuptau Yaha Anandaha Anubhujate Nirvishayaha Anandaha Anubhujate Saha Atmanandaha Eva. And how does it happen? Because mind merges into Brahman. And who takes the mind to Brahman? The Udanaha. And therefore Udana is compared to Punya Phalam. And just as Setam Bhuktva Swargalokam Vishalam, during Sushupti there is Ananda, again Punascha Janmantara Karma Yoga, she comes back, and during dream again Agnihotra ritual is taking place, and again Sushuptau Ananda Anubhutihi, Tasmat Aharahar Brahma Gamayati. Aharaha means what? Every day it is done. And here Shankaracharya adds a point. We can say the dream is Agnihotra ritual only in the case of those people who practice Prana Upasana. In the other case, they go to sleep, but we don't consider them as Brahmagamanam, etc. Otherwise, all the people are doing Agnihotra ritual, it will be mistaken. Therefore, only the Prana Upasaka's dream is compared to Agnihotra ritual. Only Prana Upasaka's dream is compared to Agnihotra ritual. Because only in his case, the Dakshinagni, etc. are there. So with this, the second question is answered. Now what is the third question? Kasara esha devaha swapnam anubhavati. Swapnan pashyati. That was the third question, for which the answer is coming in the following portion. Number 5. Atra esha devaha swapne mahimanam anubhavati yad drishtam drishtam anupashyati shrutam shrutamevārtham anushrunoti desha digantaraischa pratyanubhutam punah punah pratyanubhavati drishtancha drishtancha shrutancha shrutancha anubhutam cha nanubhutam cha Satcha Satcha Sarvam Pashyati Sarvah Pashyati. So the third question is answered in the fifth mantra, only one mantra. Atra swapna kale eshaha devaha mahimanam anubhavati. Here the word devaha indicates manaha, the mind. And by using the word devaha, which means effulgent, the Upanishad is indicating that it is not the mere mind, but the mind pervaded by the Chidabhasa. Because mere mind is jadam, material in nature, it cannot experience anything. Therefore, mana akhyaha devaha chidabhasa vishishtaha chaitanyena iddhaha san anubhavati. Atra, the Upanishad itself comments upon it. Atra is equal to swapane. I thought I have to supply. In the Upanishad itself it is there. Atra swapane. Here in dream, this mind enjoys mahimanam. Mahimanam means its own glory. And what do you mean by its own glory? Shankaracharya writes in his commentary, the glory is that the mind can become everything in dream. So everything that we experience in dream is nothing but the manifestation of the mind alone. You don't require any external objects. You have closed all the 5 sense organs and you can see every blessed thing within the mind itself. Who has projected all of them? The mind alone becomes Vishayaha. The mind alone becomes the Karanani. The mind alone becomes the Bhokta. Thus the mind alone is Karta, mind alone is Karanam, mind alone is the Karma. The mind alone is Shrota, Shravyam, Shrutihi. In fact, all Triputis, one mind alone become. How? Because of the thought pattern. When the mind enjoys the tiger thought, I see a tiger in dream. When the mind entertains a river thought, I see a river in dream. Thus, the river in dream is nothing but a thought which is an amsham of the mind. Similarly, everything. And we have seen before that even the sense organs that we have is not this sense organs given by the Lord, but the sense organs in dream are again created by the mind alone. And therefore, Imanam Anuti. And what all things the mind sees, that is said here, Yat Drishtam Tas Drishtam Anupashyati. Whatever is seen, we have to supply Jagrad Avasthayam. Whatever is seen in the waking state, Tas Drishtam, that object, Anupashyati, is seen again in dream. Here the idea conveyed is that during Jagrad Avastha, we are gathering vasanas of Shabda Sparsha Rasa Gandha, and all these vasanas are recorded in the Chittam. And during the dream, all these cassettes, video cassettes, are played again, and we see Ramayanam or Mahabharatam or whatever scene it is. That record panni vechirukkom. That's why it is said, Yat Drishtam Jagradavastayam Tat Drishtam Pashyati. It is not a fresh perception, And therefore Shruti adds anupashyati. It sees exactly as in waking. It re-sees, re-hears, re-smells. Everything is re. Anu na re nartham. Anupashyati. This has to be extended to all the others. And therefore Shrutam, Shrutameva artham anushrunoti. Yate jagradavasthayam Shrutam, tat Shrutam artham swapnavasthayam anushrunoti. So first Shrutam goes with jagradavastha, second Shrutam goes with swapnavastha. Anushrunoti means he hears for the second time or third time, many times. Okay. Anushrunoti. And desha digantaraischa pratyana bhutam punah punaha pratyanubhavati. Whatever is experienced, pratyanubhutam na experienced. So by the word experienced, the Shruti indicates even emotions, etc. Not only Indriya Anubhava, but even Manonubhava, like anger. Anger and repeat pannuvom. Inge edu pandrom adhan ange varaporudhu. So, if in Jagrada Avasthaya I had a fear, the fear is repeated in Swapna Avastha also. Therefore, Anubhutam means Manasa Sakshat Indriya Sahayam Vina Anubhutam. Where Desha Digantaraischa, Deshantaraihi Digantaraischa. Deshantaram means in different desha. Because world tour galam poralaliya. Therefore, in all these tours, whatever have been experienced, they are all recorded. And Digantaraihi. Digantara refers to various quarters. Dik means quarter. So, whatever is experienced in different quarters, in different countries, all of them punah punaha pratyanubhavati. He experiences again and again. Then drishtam cha adrishtam cha. He experiences what is seen before. Drishtam na, what is seen before. And adrishtam cha, he experiences what is not seen before. So for this, Shankaracharya writes a commentary. When you say adrishtam pashyati, in dream we see something which we have not experienced before. Shankaracharya doesn't accept this, and therefore he comments, adrishtam is equal to janmantara drishtam. Adrishtam does not mean not seen. Adrishtam means asmin janmani adrishtam. You have to qualify it. Not experienced in this janma, but janmantare. Janmantara means what? Previous janma. And for this, Shankaracharya gives a logic also, because atyanta adrishte vasana anupapatte. If we have never experienced something, it would not have formed the vasana. Your cassette will never play which has not been recorded. If you put the cassette and you hear something, Western music vandadu ungalku pidikave cheyada vechunga. You get wild. How can it come? Then you know that your teenager son or daughter in your absence has recorded. So therefore, it has been recorded without your knowledge or when you were not there. But one thing is definite, unless it is recorded in the cassette, it cannot play. Even the most advanced cassette cannot play what is not recorded. Similarly, even the most advanced mind cannot replay what is not done. And therefore, Shankaracharya says, Atyanta adrishte vastuni vasana anupapatte. Therefore, it is to be interpreted as janmantara drishtam. And if you ask, what about future perception in dream? I have already told you, future perception is not defined as dream at all. If at all you see something belonging to future, if at all, we do not club it, we do not connect it in dream. Dream is vasana janyaha swapnaha. Definition nyabam. Vasana janyaha swapnaha. If you see something belonging to future, it is not dream, it is ESP or something like that. And such powers are accepted. Either freak, some people get it, or by yoga, a person can gain it. In Yoga Shastra, we call it as Yogaja Pratyaksham. Yogatnala, a person can know the future, but that is not called dream. And therefore, here we are talking about dream. In dream, if you see, you have experienced Asmin Janmani, which is called Drishtam, or Parasmin Janmani, which is called Adrishtam. Then Shrutam cha, Ashrutam cha. Same, what is heard in this Janma, and Ashrutam means what is not heard in this Janma, which means what has been heard in previous Janma, Janmantareshu Shrutam. Because you should remember, between two Janmas, physical body alone differs, the subtle body does not differ between two Janmas. Therefore, we can happily have the impressions of the last Janma. Then, Anubhutam cha, Ananubhutam cha. What is experienced in this Janma and what is not experienced in this Janma. Then, Satcha, Asatcha. Sat means reality. Asat means unreality. Because in Swapana also, Rajju Sarpa can be seen. Hoila poina. So because if you can see Rajju Sarpa in Jagrata Avastha, the same recording is done, and in Swapana also we may see Rajju Sarpa, and Swapana Guru may come and tell you Nayam Sarpaha Kintu Rajjuhu. And therefore Swapana Drishtya Vyavaharikam Vyavaharikam and Pratibhatikam is possible. Therefore here Sat refers to Vyavaharikam and Asat refers to Pratibhatikam. Paramarthikam inge kadayadu. We are not discussing Paramarthikam here as the fifth question. So Sat Vyavaharika Satyam and Asat Pratibhasika Satyam. Sarvam Pashyati. That Sarvam is to be connected with all these. Shrutancha, Ashrutancha, Drishtancha, Adrishtancha, Anubhutancha, Ananubhutancha. And Pashyati should be connected with all of them. Drishtancha, Adrishtamcha Pashyati, Shrutamcha, Ashrutancha Pashyati. Because all of them are in Dvitiya Vibhakti. Adanala we have to connect it with the verb. In short, the Upanishad is tired of enumeration. Therefore, Upanishad says, Sarvam Pashyati. Everything the mind sees. And it is all the glory of what? The mind itself, because who has created all of them? The mind alone has created all of them. And who is experiencing all of them? The very mind itself. Because the mind becomes the experienced and the mind becomes the experiencer. Both grahya grahaka bhedena ubhayamapi manaha eva bhavati. Because you should remember, at the cosmic level, whatever glory is there for Maya, all those glories are there for mind at the individual level. If Maya can create the subject-object duality in non-dual Brahman, mind can create subject-object duality in the non-dual Vaikar. And that is why in Vaitathya Prakaranam, Swapna was taken as an example. So, Sarvam Pashyati, and how Sarvaha Pashyati. Sarvaha Pashyati means Sarvaha San Pashyati. Sarvaha San means what? Becoming everything. Mind sees everything. So, mind rendu vela pandradha. Mind becomes everything. Everything. And this alone is called Mahima of the Lord. Just as in the cosmic level it becomes Maya Mahima of the Lord, here it becomes Mano Mahima of the Waker or Dreamer. With this, the third question is answered. Which Deva experiences the dream? The answer is Mana Akhyaha Devaha. Now we are going to the answer to the fourth question. Fourth question na fourth question of the fourth student. Sub-question. Sa yada tejasa abhibhuto bhavati atraisha devaha swapnanna pashyati atha tada etasmin sharire etas sukham bhavati. What was the fourth question? Kasya etat sukham bhavati. And I had told you that etat sukham refers to sushupti ananda. So to whom does the sushupti ananda belong? And the answer is what? The prajnaha. Technically speaking, it is called prajnaha. But that is going to be said in a different language here. Sa yada tejasa abhibhuto bhavati. Now here we have to understand the concept of dream according to Shastra. It is said that in the nadis of the antahkarana, all the dream, all the vasanas are recorded. And it is through these nadis the vasana recordings are thrown out. Then Sopana comes. But when this nadi gets obstructed or blocked, when the functioning of the mind is stopped, then naturally the Sopana also, like the power cut, Sadana TV off. Tadangalukku varundugarom. Adhan TV naro. TV na enna na? T na tadangalukku, V na varundugarom. Adikedi varudha illaya? Anyway, how does this nadi get obstructed? If we ask, it is said, Tejasa abhibhuto bhavati. This Tejas word is interpreted in two ways. One is Tejas, they call as Pittam. Just as Vatam, Pittam, Kapham we have heard. It is the Pittam according to Shastram that is obstructing the functioning of the mind. What type of mind? The Chittam. Inge what particular mind is responsible for dream? The Chittam, because in Chittam alone all recordings are kept. Anusandhanatmika antahkarana vrittihi. Memory is in chittam, and that part of the mind is obstructed because of the tejas, the pittakhyam. And therefore, all the swapnams are stopped. This is one interpretation. And another is, tejas means Brahma Chaitanyam itself. Because in Sushupti, the Brahma Chaitanyam is maximum manifest. Because Brahmanandam is what is experienced there. And therefore, Tejasa means Brahma Chaitanyena. The individual Chaitanyam is overpowered by Brahma Chaitanyam. Savishesha Chaitanyam is overpowered by Nirvishesha Chaitanyam. Particular knowledge is overpowered by non-particular experience. That is what is said here. Yada tejasa abhibhuto bhavati. We have to supply manaha. Manaha adla sollala. When the mind is overpowered by the tejas tattvam, which is known as pittam, atra eshaha devaha, then this mind itself, swapnan na pashyati, does not perceive any dream. And at that time, the mind is no more mind, because the sankalpa vrittis are not functioning. Nishchayatmaka vrittis are not functioning. Sankalpa vrittis not functioning means mind resolved. Nishchaya vrittis not functioning means buddhi resolved. Aham vritti is not functioning, ahankara resolved. And even anusandhana vrittis, that is, the memories are not functioning, means chittam is resolved. Then when all these functions are resolved, we call it as karana shariram. Karanam becomes karanavastha. It is like the melting of a wax doll. When the wax doll has got a specific shape, you can call by various names. It is an elephant doll, man doll, etc. But the moment it is melted, the specific nature is gone, it becomes unspecific wax. And as that, you cannot call it an elephant or a tiger or man. Similarly, now the mind has got the specifications, and now in Sushupti, the mind has gone to unspecific one, which is called Karana Shariram or Karanavastha. So it is the name of what? Mind alone. When it is non-functioning. And when Jagrat Swapna Avastha comes, the very same mind develops the vrittis, ahankara comes, then I have got so many specifications, I am so and so, etc. And therefore, Esha Devaha refers to the Mana Akhya Devaha only, but Karanavastham Prapannaha Mana Akhya Devaha Swapnanna Pashyati. Okay, then what happens? Naturally, the dukkhams, the pains, the limitations, etc., caused by duality vanishes. Because where there is dvaitam, there is limitation, there is individuality, there is a struggle to get rid of the individuality, all problems are there. And since such problems are not there, Sushupti becomes Ananda. My individual problems are resolved because the individuality itself is resolved. And therefore what happens? Atha tada. At that time, at what time? Yada swapnanna pashyati. And what is it called? Sushuptau. So when one does not see dreams, which means when one is in deep sleep state. etasmin sharire etat sukham bhavati. In this body, there is etat sukham, the sushupti sukham is experienced. Again by the mind alone, but the resolved mind, or you have to say by the karana shariram. And that is why karana shariram is known by the name Anandamaya Koshaha. The Manomaya Koshaha has resolved into Anandamaya Kosha Avastha, and therefore etas sukham bhavati. And again, when I say karana shariram enjoys this pleasure, you should remember it is not kevala karana shariram, because kevala karana shariram is jadam exactly as kevala antahkaranam. And therefore here karana shariram indicates the chaitanya vyapta karana shariram, which is otherwise known as prajnaha. So etat sukham bhavati. With this, the fourth question also is answered. Kasya etat sukham bhavati. Now what is left out? The fifth and last question. And what was that question? Kasmin sampratisthitaha bhavanti. Isn't it? Kasminnu sarve sampratisthitaha bhavanti. What is that substratum into which everything is resolved? So it is a question dealing with the adhishthanam, which means Brahman. And that is going to be answered in the following portion we will read. Sa yatha somya vayamsi vaso vriksham sampratishtante evam havaitat sarvam para atmani sampratisthate. Now the fifth question is answered in the following three mantras, 7, 8 and 9. And the answer is that it is the Para Atma or Param Brahma, that is the substratum into which everything is resolved. And for this an example is given of the birds at the time of the sunset. So the birds come out of their tree during the morning, and when the night comes, you can see that you can see that all the birds, they have got gun time. They know the sunset and all, they have got biological time, it seems. So they have all got the time, and they all go to where na? Vaso vriksham, the tree in which they all rest, they all reside, their residence. Vaso vriksham means the tree residence. That is said here as the example. Vayamsi vaso vriksham sampratishtante. Vayaha means pakshi. Vayamsi is the plural. Vayaha, vayasi, vayamsi. Napumsakalingaha, sakarantaha. Somya is addressing the student. Are you awake? Romba nerama na patient irukene. Are you awake? So here Somya, oh dear student, just as all the birds go back to their vaso vriksha, the tree of their residence, their residential tree, sampratishtante, and get resolved, rest there. Evam havai tat sarvam. In the same way, everything pare atmani sampatisthate will get resolved, will rest upon the para atma, that is the turiyam. Because when we discussed the Sopana, Taijasa topic came. When we discussed the Sushupti, it was Prajna topics. And when we are discussing now this, it is the Turiyam. Pare Atmani Sampratisthate. And this is going to be explained. Sarvam means what? Because in the case of tree, in a tree, a set of birds alone will rest, not the whole set of birds. Is it like that? If we ask no, with respect to Brahman, everything means everything. That means without exception, all birds, all trees, all animals, all devatas, Brahmaji, and then even Deshaha and Kalaha are resolved into that Brahman. Yasya Brahmacha Kshatrancha Ubhe Bhavata Odanaha Mrityur Yasya Upasedanam Kaistha Veda Yatrataha Bijasyantari Vanguro Jagatitam Prang Nirvikalpam Punaha Maya Kalpita Desha Kala Kalana Vaichitrya Chitrikritam. So what I mean is that space, time and the whole creation, they get resolved into that Brahman. And for that, the Upanishad wants to put in a different language. The whole creation can be reduced into three. That is the Triputi in the form of the object of experience, the instrument of experience, and the subject of experience. And all the three, the object, the instrument and the subject, pramatru pramana prameya vikalpaha, kartri karma karana vikalpaha, drashtru darshana drishya vikalpaha, shrotru shravana shravya vikalpaha, etc. all of them. That is said in the next two mantras. We will read that. Prithvi cha prithvi matra cha apascha apo matra cha tejascha tejo matra cha vayuscha vayu matra cha akashascha akasha matra cha chakshuscha drashtavyam cha shrotrancha shrotavyam cha ghranancha ghraatavyam cha rasascha rasayitavyam cha tvakcha sparshayitavyam cha vakcha vaktavyam cha hastau cha adatavyam cha upasthascha anandayitavyam cha payuscha visarjayitavyam cha padau cha gantavyam cha manascha mantavyam cha buddhischa bodhavyam cha ahankarascha ahankartavyam cha Chittam cha chetayitavyam cha Tejascha vidyotayitavyam cha Pranascha vidharayitavyam cha. So everything, that is the style of Upanishad. It likes to repeat everything so that the impact is there. Chunapuram, pancha jnanendriyani tad vishayaha, pancha karmendriyani tad vishayaha, pancha chatvari antahkaranani tad vishayaha chunapuram. But the Upanishad is enjoying repeating each jnanendriyam and their vishayas, etc. First we get the pancha bhutas and their tanmatras. You know what is bhutas and tanmatras? Bhutas refer to sthula bhutas and tanmatra refer to sukshma bhutas. You know why tanmatras are called so? I have explained before. The sthula bhutas are formed after panchikaranam, and therefore in every sthula bhuta it is a mixture of all the pancha bhutas we have seen in Tattva Bodha, which means Prithvi sthula bhuta contains only one half of Prithvi, the other half contains 1/8 of all the other four elements. And therefore, in the case of sthula bhuta, everything is an alloy. Alloy is another. Everything is an alloy. There is no single bhutam existing singly. It is a mixture. Proportion may differ. That is a different thing. But it's a mixture. But only in Sukshma Avastha, Prithvi means Prithvi Matram and Agnihi means Agni Matram. Therefore, every Sukshma Bhuta is called Tan Matram. So, 5 of them are enumerated. Prithvi cha, Prithvi Matra cha, Earth, then Apascha, Apo Matra cha, water, Sthulam and Sukshmam, Tejascha, Tejo Matra cha, fire, gross and subtle, Vayuscha, Vayu Matra cha, air, gross and subtle, and Akashascha, Akasha Matra cha, the space, gross and subtle. Okay, what are we supposed to do? You have to add Pare Atmani Sampratishtante. Pona slothile and eduthukanam. Sarvam Pare Atmani Sampratisthate. Therefore, all these rest upon or based upon the Para Atma, the Turiyam. Thus, generally, the Pancha Bhutas are mentioned. Now, here afterwards, each Indriyam and its Vishayam is enumerated. That alone I said Triputi. Of the Triputi, 2 of them are the instruments and the objects of contact. And those pairs are mentioned here. Eye as the instrument and the Rupam as the object of perception. Ear as the instrument and Shabda as the object of perception. And that is said here, Chakshuhu Drashtavyam. So the eyes and that which is to be seen. Nama supply pandikanam vechutte. So the Shruti does not say it is Rupam, but we have to understand Drashtavyam means Sarvani Rupani Chakshushaha Vishayaha. Chakshur Gocharaha Vishayaha. Similarly, Shrotram, ears, Granam, the smell, Rasaha, taste, Tvak means the skin, Pancha Jnanendriyani. And Shrotavyam means sound. Gratavyam is smell. Rasayitavyam is taste. Sparshayitavyam is touch. Thus Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandhaha, Vishayaha. Shrotram, Tvak, Chakshuhu, Rasana, Granam, Indriyani. Thus both the Indriyams and their Vishayas are based upon Brahman. This is Jnanendriyas. And similarly for Karmendriyas also it is going to be said. And thereafterwards Antakaranam also will be said. Those details we will see in the next class. Hari. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.